How's it going, everybody? Midnight Silver Run here. Figured I'd come back and do a little air search. See if we can find anything. We'll be looking on some 2015 homesteads for, snow on the roof, maybe any dye clashes, DDOs in the windows, errors with the pump, that type of thing. And we'll be doing some Minnesotas, the 2005 I believe, look for the extra tree. Some 89Ds for the repunched mint mark. We'll go through them kind of fast. It's not really hard ones to look for. We're looking on the roof for any dye chips, dye crack going down to the roof. Doubling in the windows, especially these windows down here from the pump. Then there's some dye chips around the bucket area that make it look. And sometimes there's some doubling on the, I don't know, what are they, wheat stalks or corn stalks or whatever those things are. Nothing special. The dye chip on the roof is fairly common. I haven't found the dye crack going from like the E right here down to the roof. I haven't found that. I haven't found any of the doubling in the windows. And I haven't found any of the dye chips around the bucket area either. And you can kind of start to see it right there where it started. I'd imagine that was probably a coin where the dye was starting to break there. You see a lot of those that have that wear on it right above the roof there. Can't really consider it a dye chip though, because the chip's not actually there. It's just starting to go. There's another little one, you can see it right there. It's just a mark from where the chip is already started to go, or maybe left a little piece of it behind on a coin somewhere. I have a lot of them that have a little itty bitty chip here and there on the roofs. Well, that was all of the homesteads. I guess now we'll just kind of run through and look for the extra tree, which is somewhere in these trees right here. We won't waste too much time, so we can try and get through a couple of them. Got my handy dandy little microscope here as well if I need it. Magnifying glass, I guess it's not really a microscope. I'd really like to find the extra tree. I'd like to find the Wisconsin extra leaf one too, that'd be pretty cool. See if I can get through these quick enough, maybe we can run down through some more of the Bicentennials. See if I can possibly find another DDO and those, which I gotta say finding a one was probably fairly lucky. I can't imagine finding two would be it's not improbable, highly unlikely though. That's fine. There's plenty more other things to find out there. It's just time. how many boxes of pocket change and rolls and all that you go through, find something. Really been just trying to find nicer quarters for my books. But to be honest, a lot of the quarter boxes I get, the quarters aren't in the best of shape. So finding quarters nice enough to actually put in there. I mean, to fill a spot, yeah, but I mean, you know, we don't start books to just fill spots. Let's be honest here. We want to get nicer looking coins for our books, you know. Alright, that was all the Minnesotas. I guess we'll try to run down on some, this will be the 89D, Denver. And we're going to be looking at the mint mark, so I guess I'll move my microscope down a little bit here so we can just focus on that area. Let me grab my handy dandy little tool here and I can actually point to where we'll be looking for the doubling. Now if you've seen the Bicentennial quarter DDO I found, you know how the doubling was on the back side of the letters. Well, the doubling will be along the back side of the D on this part here, along the back there. And you'll notice it. It's fairly obvious. You can tell, you know, this looks like normal weathered 89D. A lot of beat up coins. Again, when you're doing this, when you think you have something, you always got to ask yourself, what could be? What else could it be? You know, there's a lot of DDOs out there, a lot of double die reverses, a lot of repinch mint marks and all that, but the other problem is there's a lot of just damaged, weathered, machine doubling, push doubling, die deterioration, planchet decay. There's all types of things. So when looking at it, you wanna have something to reference it with. Using, like, I don't know, Variety Vista, Wexlers, you want to look at something. You don't want to just see the coin and be like, oh yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Because that's, just because you think it's something doesn't mean it is something. And that's why when it comes down to it, that's why they have grading companies as well. Because you can ask 100 people. Like, I go into my coin store that I buy my Constitutional and my regular silver from, you know, my silver rounds, my AOCs and stuff. See, that's just damage there. And he doesn't keep track of, you know, really any of the newer stuff along the lines of, say, errors and stuff like that. So when I took in my Bicentennial quarter, you know, he could look at it and see the doubling, but he didn't know anything about it. I mean, as in price-wise and, you know, stuff like that. So just because they're a coin dealer, and they may be a very smart coin dealer, it doesn't necessarily mean they're a coin dealer in the means of errors or varieties or newer coins. They might know about, you know, something with Indian heads or Morgans or peace dollars, you know, older coins. But when it comes to, say, 1965 and newer, you know, that's not up his alley. Excuse me. So, but at the same time, he's also willing to send coins in for grading for his customers. So, you know, that's what I decided to do. We'll just let them look at it. I mean, it's obvious it was a double die, but at the same time, there's a few people out there that are like, that's machine doubling, or this, you know, and it's, you can clearly tell if you look at Wexler's or Variety Vista that it's not machine doubling. But okay, there is another variety of doubling on this one, and it's on the In God We Trust. So I guess we'll take, the last time I ran through them, I didn't really look at that one, but with some of these coins being as beat up as they are, you should see the spread in the words in and God and we. I believe a little bit in trust. I don't exactly remember, but it's something again that we should be able to see with the microscope fairly easy, if it's there. I believe the one with the doubling and In God We Trust is a little less, there's a little more known of those, I believe. And I have a different light on to help cut the actual glare of my microscope light, 'cause it's just such a white bright light. So I have an orange light, kind of. That's why you see the tint of the color. And again, if you remember, the doubling is in Liberty, and it is obvious. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a video I posted last week where I found a Bicentennial quarter DDO FS 101, and I pointed out where you could find a doubling ad on it. So look at that video. If I can get through these fairly quickly, I'll pull up something else to run down and look at. And I have the time. Anybody that wants to watch. Find a lot of bicentennials in my quarters. Again, the doubling in Liberty is very obvious. It's the doubling and In God We Trust, but it's a little more stepped to the right, I believe. So you can see it. I mean, it just, the letters don't look right. I mean, they look right, but they look weird. But with them being so beat up, a lot of the time it's just even hard to see. Like on that one, you might be able to see it if it was there. It's not too horrible, but that's the thing. Trying to look at an old coin and be like, yeah, that's I got this or I got that, but then it's all beat up and smashed. Does it really matter? If a Tasmanian devil looked like it tried to eat it, you know, at that point in time, all you really do is have a coin that you can say, I have whatever, you know, whatever error you can find on a coin, you know. I mean, it's cool to have, don't get me wrong. It's awesome to say, yeah, I got a Bicentennial DDO FS 101 quarter, but at the same time, if it's completely trashed, people are gonna be like, oh, cool. And that'll be about the end of it. Not seeing nothing but no surprise. It's not every day, you know, you search through. The one time I didn't search through my quarters. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that? Do you see that? No way. No. All right, let's look at the serifs and see what we got here. See on the E right there? It's doubled like my last one. I can't get my mic thing down there right there. It's doubled like my last one. Look at the B. Down there at the bottom, it's doubled like my last one. The I you can't really see too well because it's under a bunch of crap, but look at the L. Look at the L right there. That's definitely doubled. Do you guys see that? I believe I just found another crappy looking. Let's look at this here. Okay, this might actually be, this might be double two. You see how the O is much fatter? Almost looks like there's two T's right here. Two R's. It's just beat up. I don't think this is an FS 101. I just think it's the DDO 101 or 01, I believe. I don't remember. I'd have to look up the listing. But that's definitely another double dyed Bicentennial. Without a doubt. And we found it while looking. That's wild. Wow. All right, well, we got a couple more to look through, so we'll just bang through those real quick. Thankfully, the one I found last week is a real nice, is a nice condition. I'm hoping towards the end of this week I'll hear some kind of email back from them on regards to grade and all that. That I can't wait for. I'm excited about that. And then I have to send my, I'm waiting to get an email back from Wexler about my double die. I had a couple questions, or not my double die, my die clashed penny. I had a couple questions about that with him. See what he had to say about the situation. So I'm waiting to hear back from that. All right, guys. Well, there's all those Bicentennials. Probably went through a roll of them. I guess we can pull these out real quick. Get these done. These are the New Mexico. (2008), and again, what we'll be looking for is in this area here in the field. somewhere around here in the field maybe. I forget which one. It's a little die chip. I think it's like right here. But if you see that die chip, it might be an indication of a die clash. And if you see the die chip in one of these prongs, you'll see some clash marks on the outside in the field here. So those are an easy way to tell. Like this one, it just looks like the normal back of the New Mexico. So it's just something to look for. I believe there's some doubling on the back as well somewhere, but I have a hard enough time trying to keep track of the few that I look for now until I get more in tune with you know, quarter errors, varieties, and stuff in general. I just try to keep it simple and look for ones that are not hard to find. And I don't mean as in, you know, like there's a bunch of them out there, but when you look at it through like one of these guys or through my microscope, you can, you know, it's not hard to see, I should see. I hate looking at some of the like the 1966 DDR is not a very noticeable looking doubling, so that's the other reason I don't record when I usually do the older dates like that, because the coins are just so jacked up and you just go through them so fast, because a lot of them you can't even, you know, they got the ring of death and they're all dinged and scratched, and then they're just wore out, so details are missing. So it's really just a really boring process looking for some of them. So that's why I just try to stick to these newer looking coins, because then at least you guys can kind of see what I'm looking for, and for me it's easier to actually see them when I do see them, or if I ever see them, which I haven't found any on the back of this one yet, which is fine. I got another one here. It's what is it? The Wyoming 2007, and no, it's not the Pooing horse. This is one I haven't really did a lot of research on, so I can only give you a rough estimate of where some doubling is spotted. But there's a DDR, double die reverse, on this one, and a lot of the doubling is noticed somewhere in this area around the shoehorn, I believe is what it's called, of the saddle, in this area here. So and as you can see, this is another coin, since it sticks out, it gets beat up a little bit. So trying to tell doubling on something like this is going to be a little harder to do, unless you run into a little bit nicer coins. And then again with mine, you get the shadows of the coin, so you have to spin and spin and spin and spin, so you can, you know, check the angle of each shadow, because otherwise, you know, like you get all this glare right here, and then you see the shadows on the backside. So then I have to, you know, you got to spin it just as many times as you can. This is one I don't pull off to the side too often, just for this reason. I mean, not saying it's not cool or it's not, you know, it's not worth looking for, but I don't know how much worth it's looking for, and it's really hard to get that detail to pop up without the glare a lot of times. You know, it's just hard. So it's just some doubling isn't easy to see. And then sometimes the coin's just beat up, and that could be the coin that has it, and you just can't tell because it's beat up. Like that one's kind of beat up. Is it dinged up? You know, is it doubled? Who knows? Nobody will ever know. More marks on them. That one's marked up. That one's marked up. When I start getting dinged up and marked up, if it's doubled, how can you say that the doubling is just not bag marks that hit it or something, you know? So once it gets too marked up, to me, it's just a lost cause. That one's dinged up. These ones, like I said, I don't look for a lot just because they get dinged up a lot in that area. And then when you do find them, it's not something you see every day. And the doubling isn't like pronounced. The doubling doesn't look like that. All right, guys. Well, we'll call it on that. You seen it. That's doubling. Another Bicentennial. 1976 DDO. And it's a little nasty. Take another look at it now. Yeah, that's definitely some corrosion. Oh well, there it is. You can see the eye doubling on the eye right there, and then out of the other eye, and then doubling there and there. The doubling there and there. And the doubling on the E, the bottom, the serifs, the R, the doubling on the R and the T, and the Y. Bicentennial quarter DDO times 2. A week apart. Exactly a week apart almost. Well, as always, have a good evening, everybody. Be safe.